Assalamualaikum and konnichiwa. Thank you for joining today's episode of Academically Speaking with me, Azalia. And today we will be talking about how I got into language education research. When I was in high school, my teachers did not allow us to use Malay in English language classes. We would have to pay fines, we would have English week, everything to encourage the more use of English in order to help with our language skills. I was okay with it because I did not know then that I was actually inductively gifted towards English language learning, and this was also due to the fact of my environment growing up. Basically, I profited from this way of language learning, so I had no problem with this policy and it gave me an upper hand, so I was all for English only classes. However, fast forward 2-3 years later after SPM, where I was thrown into Japanese language school and everything I knew about language was just gone. Similarly, the sensei would not allow us to use any English, any Malay, Japanese only. And this time, I wasn't inductively gifted towards Japanese, regardless of the amount of samurai acts and anime songs I listened to. I could not grasp the language, and because of this, I failed miserably in Japanese language. It was even more frustrating to see how easily my classmates could grasp what the teacher was saying, and when I asked them to try and explain it to me in English or Malay or in any language that I could decipher, it was very difficult for them to explain it back to me because everything was taught inductively and everything was taught in Japanese and we weren't given any English or Malay explanation. So it was something that had to happen within your brain and you had to somehow, learn it naturally, because that's what this method, direct method, is about anyway, acquiring language naturally the way children do. But that's impossible for adults sometimes, and it can be very difficult for some people, especially me. I often got left behind and was considered not working hard enough because I wasn't excelling. And even towards the very end, I never rose up to the Japanese language standard that my other classmates did, but I did manage to pass my exams and continue my degree in university in Japan. This whole experience of failing miserably in learning Japanese is what gave me the determination to really find out why we learn languages the way we do. Why are there these English-only policies or Japanese-only policies? Why is it considered the best way to learn languages? What about other students? How do they learn language? Is there an alternative? Is it so bad if you want to try and use translation, if you want to use another language or deemed own language? I mean, is it that detrimental? How can we help people to learn languages in a better way so that in the future, if there are other students who are like me, who just who are not inductively gifted at any certain language, that there is something else that I can go to and rely on in order to help me understand the language better. Another thing that I think it's very important is to not have the assumption of one size fit all, not just in language education but in any type of education. Every student is unique, and sometimes as teachers or as educators it's easy for us to fall into the trap of thinking that, oh, this student is not doing well because they're not being hardworking enough. It's easy for us not to want to take the blame of maybe there's something that I'm not doing that's not helping the child or the adult or the student. It has to go within better than that, and yeah, that's one of the reasons why I really like this research and think it's important to do. So yes, that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do let me know if there's anything else in particular that you would like to know about being a student in Japan. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.